If I had known, I wouldn't be taking 5 attempts. So talk to mentors. If you have taken some mentorship and all, talk to those mentors. They will motivate you. And I just joined the job and I was feeling that I was losing motivation and all. So I used to call occasionally Sajal sir and ask him like what to do now.
So good evening, everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Mourya Bharadwaj. Mourya has secured All India Rank 28 in UPSC Civil Services Exam 2021. Mourya graduated in 2014 from NIT Warangal. He is an electronics and communication engineer. Mourya has written 5 UPSC attempts. He resigned from his job in 2016, and since then he has written 5 UPSC attempts consecutively. Mourya has written 5 mains, and in his 4th attempt, Mourya was allotted Indian Postal and TAFS, which Mourya did not join. And in his 5th attempt, he finally converted it into IAS. He became IAS in his 5th attempt. Mourya initially for 3 years prepared for this exam full time, and he chose to give his 4th and 5th attempt while being a working professional. So thank you so much, Mourya, for taking out your time and joining us at Civilsdaily.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Right. And before we begin our conversation with Mourya, I'll request all our participants to type down their questions so that when we are into discussion, we'll take your questions at the end. Please don't raise your hands, and you can type down your questions in any language you feel comfortable with. We will take all your questions in the end. So Mourya, welcome again.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mourya, it has been 2 months since the final results are out. So you are finally an IAS officer. Has it sunk in? How has your last 60 days been like? Are you still absorbing this, or has it sunk in?
I think it is gradually sinking in. Initially, I was as shocked as everyone around me that because like I've been working for the past 5 years, and result date is very sudden, and it took some time to sink in. And yeah, as you said, right now it has finally sunk in.
Right. So I was reading one of your blogs where you said that after your 3 attempts, joining back to the job was your best decision. Why do you say so?
So actually, I happened to dedicate full time for this examination. I took coaching and I prepared two attempts with lot of vigor and all everything. But due to some reasons, I could not clear this examination. Then after a couple of attempts, this insecurity started, troubling me that what is happening. And since I have also worked earlier, so there was a lot of opportunity cost for me in terms of monetarily also. And career wise also, there's a lot of uncertainty. It started impacting my mental health basically. And I felt that since I have done most of the things properly only, I have prepared all notes and I have finished my optional also. And I have I like my optional also. I did not have any plans of switching my option. So I thought, okay, the improvements what I'm supposed to do are marginal and I can manage it with job. So that is the reason I have chosen to join back. And immediately after joining, COVID-19 pandemic has happened. Like I joined in Jan 2020 and national lockdown came in March. So in 1 to 1 it got, and I felt that because I was having job during those tough phases, I was more mentally secure and focused completely on preparation. So that's why I felt that it was a good decision for me.
Right. So was there any kind of baggage because you had a gap of 3 years? I know you were working before, but still 3 years gap in tech sector, a lot of things are happening these days. So did you regret when you went back to your job that why did I waste 3 years for civil services? Or did you need some kind of upskilling? What was your situation like?
The first thing, with respect to first question, there is no regret for me because if I had not taken that risk, I would be feeling regret that maybe if I had given it full time, then I would have got better results. But since I have given full time initially, I know I had no regret. So that was first thing. And secondly, with respect to how I got back in, I had an experience of 2+ years, almost 2.5 years earlier. and the company which I have joined back, it is almost works on the same domain. So I did not have to do any upskilling. Basically, I need to just recollect what I have done in 3 years back, like before 3 years in 2000 till from 14 to 16, what I have done, I have to recollect, and I just need to brush up those things and give an interview. I think the first company that interviewed me took me in because they are also in need of people with that experience. So they just took me in. I did not, what I mean to say, take much time to decide. I just joined straight away.
Right. So what really made you confident in your fourth attempt? Because three failures. Now you have a job, you are secure, and you said that in the pandemic also it gave you a push, a safety net. So what made you confident in your fourth attempt that yes, this time I'll get it? And you did get it. You missed that attempt by only 2 marks, but you were still in the reserve list and you got a service also. So we can call it as a successful attempt.
Yeah.
We will not call it as a failure. We'll call that attempt as a successful attempt. So what worked for you in fourth attempt?
So actually, after 2019, there was some time because of this pandemic itself. We got some. The exam was delayed by a couple of months. I got some time to look back on the mistakes which I have done, and also see the strategies of people who were successful in those particular attempts. I used to go through their blogs, their articles, their copies, and see where I am lagging and all. Then I identified a couple of mistakes in my answer presentation skills and all. So that I started working on those aspects. Similarly, optional also I got some time to strengthen my notes and all. That is one more thing that have helped. And I think I took a test series again. Like so people usually take a full length sectional and complete test series in the first second attempt. I took it, but again I took a test series from Civilsdaily only, and I started writing again and got to know the mistakes from outside, an outside perspective I got on what sort of mistakes I'm doing. So all these things I was able to rectify, and I gave my focus.
Right. Mourya, we know that corporate works on a different level. Corporates has a lot of office politics, and you promotions are going on, and a lot of different things are happening, which is not related directly or indirectly with UPSC preparation. I mean, to keep all of these things aside and solely focus on this exam, how challenging and difficult was that, and how did you do that? Most importantly, how did you keep all those nuisance aside and started studying?
So yeah, I mean, when I joined itself, I had basically it was a tough decision for me to join back also because I have given 3 attempts and I have reached interview a couple of times. So there's a lot of opposition from everyone that why are you leaving it now? If you if you have a little more patience and if you prepare, maybe someday you will get it. So I had to face a lot of opposition. I had to convince a lot of people to join back and prepare. So right from the day one, I was, I have this on back of my mind that I have to prepare because it was my decision. I opposed a lot of people and I came back. So I was focused, firstly. Irrespective of my office schedule, I thought I'll allocate certain amount of time for this preparation. And best thing in IT, I mean corporate job is we have a 5-day week. So 2 days, mostly no one will disturb. And if even someone will disturb, I made sure that I kept my boundaries. Like I won't attend any work-related events or anything during weekends. Even though if it impacted my career growth, I was okay. I mean, at least I have a job right now, which was better than the situation I was in a couple of months ago. So I thought, okay, even if I don't get a promotion or a hike or something, it's okay. I did not take them seriously. I was more focused about that attempt which I was going to give. So that sort of clarity I have. So that's why I was able to shut down all those distractions and I was solely able to focus on it.
Right. So Mourya was extremely professional with his job, and he ensured that this professionalism remains even in his civil services studies. And this is the discipline and professionalism. Because of that discipline and professionalism, he is so successful now. Okay, Mourya, when did you know about Civilsdaily, and why did you choose Civilsdaily first? And what impact Civilsdaily had on your preparation, especially Sajal sir, Sukanya ma'am? What kind of impact they had on your preparation?
So first thing, like in my past attempts, my two, three, the initial attempts, I wrote tests, but I never got them evaluated properly. I thought that I will check my own copies since I know like what is good or what is bad. I can evaluate on my own. and I can figure out my mistakes, and I'll improve it. So that was the approach I take. I think in third attempt I took a test series, but in first, second attempt, I did not take any test series. So I felt that I need a outside perspective. So I was looking for any good test series. Couple of my friends suggested Civilsdaily. Basically, they said that teachers were more, approachable and all. That was the first thing. I was also looking for the same thing, because since we are working and all, we don't have much time, to constantly remind them to evaluate our script, constantly remind them to, schedule mentor calls and all. So when my friend said that teachers are approachable and everything was a bit systematic and all, I felt that okay, I'll give it a shot. That's how. And the program they launched, Smash Mains, was something which was suiting me. The Smash Mains, it was targeted mainly for people who have problem with mains, who went to interview but who are not able to, improve their main score. So that is the reason I chose that program, and it was good. Like actually, I started in 2020 only for the fourth attempt. That was I took sectional tests. So topic wise, I used to get inputs from both mentors, like Sajal Sir and Sutanya Madam, like how to improve, how to write answers, what were the mistakes I have, and yeah, I continued, and ultimately I got a good result.
Mourya, you mentioned that you were also facing mental health issues in this preparation. How important is mental health with respect to UPSC examination? How important it is to be at that right frame? And what should we do that? What should we do in order to be at that frame of mind? Should we do yoga, meditation, something like that? It's a different journey altogether. So please answer that.
So with respect to mental health, yeah, it is a major problem, because the exam stretches for 1 year of time, and there will be a lot of events that will be happening in your personal life. So in those 1 year, you have to face all those things, and at the same time focus completely on examination. And as your attempt count increases, you will be facing a lot of career related uncertainties also. Sometimes these thoughts will haunt you, like where you are going and all. And in my case, I was not even attempting other examinations. I was solely sitting on UPSC only, and this exam happens only once every year. Rest of the exams I was not giving. So this insecurities, career-related insecurities, used to trouble me a lot. Basically, that was the biggest challenge I used to face. And yeah, initial attempts I worked really hard. So there will be times that when you work really hard, also you won't be able to get the desired result. It happened with me, like in my first, second attempt. So that kind of gradually you started losing hope, giving up, and all these things. So when you start doing that, you will naturally uh, go down. That happened with my third attempt. Second attempt I reached till interview, but third attempt I was slowly losing interest in this process and all, and I could not clear mains itself in that attempt. So always mental health issues will be there. For me, what worked is joining back into the corporate really worked me, because I was preparing UPSC and I have something backup, a very strong backup for my fourth and fifth attempt. I was so liking what I was doing, that I did not take this central service also in the fourth attempt. I was thinking that I'll continue with my job only until I get my desired service. So joining back the job, doing things which I love, were the things that kept me sane in this long journey, and interacting with more number of people. So basically, my suggestion was, I would not, like, everyone will take their own path to beat these uncertainties or mental health issues and all these things. But one thing is, don't be in a complete isolation, because when you are in complete isolation, it will become tough. You have to share, you have to talk with people, you have to surround yourself with good friends and all. Then only, or you have to start doing things which you love. Many will be having hobbies and all. You have to start doing things which you love, so that your mind will be fresh and you will be in a positive frame of mind.
Correct. So a lot of questions are coming up. I think I should be taking it, but okay, I should be taking it. But before I should take this, a final question from my end. As an IAS, you are an IAS officer now. You will be an IAS officer. You will be DM someday after 7-8 years. You will be holding important positions in district. Is there any specific area that you want to work upon? You come from pretty much a humble background. Your father is working in education and mother is working in health sector. So you have seen rural setup more than a lot of people in Andhra Pradesh. So what is your vision as an IAS officer, and how do you really plan to do things?
So, since both my parents are in education and health department, naturally those departments will be my prime focus. Many people are still deprived of opportunities because these two sectors are not as strong as they are supposed to be. Especially, there's a vast difference between urban and rural setup. So these two will be my focus areas. Apart from that, I would also like to try to make governance or administration more technology centric. So since I'm from a technical background, I have read books on technology and social impact, all these things. So I hope I can get an opportunity to bring those changes, make administration or governance more technology centric. Already it started in India right from 2014, 2010, but going ahead also, I would like to play my part in that.
Right. I wish you all the best, Mourya, for that. Now I should be taking questions because then audience is getting restless.
Everybody reads, everybody does the hard work. But hard work is not enough to crack the exam. Along with hard work, you need smart work. And for that smart work, you need a mentor who can ensure that you are studying in the right direction. So, our Super Mentorship Program, which has just 50 seats, it has 3 layers of mentorship. The first layer will be the in-house mentors of Civilsdaily, who will be in touch with you throughout your journey. Second layer, I will be there, who will be interacting with you every week through Samachar Manthan. And at third layer, they will be our IAS mentor. Register in the form given below in the description box and in the comment box, because only when you fill the form, you will be considered as eligible for the program.
Okay. So one major question is that being a working professional, how do we remain consistent and how do we really prepare a strategy, especially for current affairs, because it gets difficult. So yeah, I'm merging a lot of questions. So one question is this only, that being a full-time professional, what is an ideal strategy for 1 year preparation, especially for the current affairs part, because it consumes too much time and we don't have too much time to give being a working professional.
Yes, I agree with that part. So firstly, the first question was how to be consistent. So for that, you need to have a proper schedule. Like your schedule, usually when you're preparing full time, people prepare schedules for every day. Like they plan something to do entire day, and like that they approach. But in working case, the time won't be entirely in your hand. Sometimes you have to, attend to your work related obligations, and that day you might not be able to devote much time to civil services preparation. So your plan should be on weekly basis. So every week you have to, review where you have reached, what is your preparation level. Do you have to accelerate, or how much syllabus you have covered, how much topics you have covered. So make a schedule and follow it up, review it weekly wise. So in office and all, there will be a lot of review meetings on projects and all. Copy that approach for your UPSC preparation also. Review yourself, that where you have reached in your preparation and all. And like that, one will be consistent. As and when you reach your weekly targets or monthly targets, you will grow more confident that okay, you're on the right track. And that is how you'll get the motivation to give even more for the preparation, and that's how you approach preparation. That is the key to consistency. So make a weekly schedule, not a daily schedule, because if you miss schedules, right, you will automatically be demoralized and you lose interest in preparation. So try to achieve those targets, weekly targets or monthly targets or fortnightly targets. You'll definitely do well. So that is with respect to consistency. And secondly, current affairs, it's a major part. So what I did was I used to read the paper very superficially. I did not read editorials from the paper. I used to rely on these online portals like Civilsdaily. There are current affairs portals which are there. So I used to copy paste the necessary. They used to summarize these editorials. I used to copy paste in OneNote or Evernote and highlight important points. Like that I used to do. And also I used to listen to videos. Many people are presenting this current affairs analysis, daily current affairs analysis videos. So one I used to pick up, I used to follow it daily. So hardly 20 minutes ka video it will be. While eating or something, I used to just listen to them and make some quick short notes. Like that I used to prepare current affairs. One institute ka module, monthly current affairs module, I used to follow. These 3 things I used to do so that I was on track with my current affairs preparation. And yes, that is
right. So I have picked up a broader theme of working professionals, and I'm taking all the questions, most of the questions I'm watching with this theme only. So somebody mentioned that he's working in a health department, which is a 24/7 job, and how, yes, so he wants your opinion, so that how can he be consistent while working in a 24/7 job? Because there is definitely not a single answer to this question, but he definitely would love to hear your opinion on that.
So yes, that's what, like with respect to departments like health and all, time won't be in our control. We have to attend to our work calls whenever it is necessary. So that is the thing. Like if you plan daily wise and all, you'll get panicked because there will be days which you won't even touch book, and there will be times which you will be having some free time for yourself. So you have to be very adaptive and flexible with respect to your preparation. Make a very broad strategy, like broad targets, like this 10 days I will prepare this, or this month I will prepare this. Whenever you get time, accelerate. Try to cover as much as possible during that small time gaps which you have. Like that, one has to manage. I mean, in high demanding professions like this, that is the only approach. Like as and when you get time, you need to prepare. And every 10-15 days, you have to review yourself that where you have reached. And if you are thinking that you are falling short, just accelerate your preparation. That's the case. And before exams, critical exams like prelims and that, try to take leave. Like for prelims, I used to take 1 week or 10 days of leave, 1 week leave. For mains, I used to take 2 weeks, so 15 days of leave. Interview, 10 days of leave, like that. So when you have that bulk of time with you, right, you won't have any distractions related to work. You'll be solely focusing on revision. Revision is always important for any examination. The last revision will be usually decisive. So at that time, it's better not to, mix preparation with work.
Right. So somebody wants to know what is the best plan to utilize 5 hours a day for 1 year. So he wants to spend 1 year. He's a working professional. He must be targeting 24 or 23 attempts. He wants to utilize best 5 hours. How does he do that?
So with respect to 5 hours, usually 1 hour will go for this newspaper related analysis or note making and all. He can pick up alternate days. Like one day he can focus on GS general study, one day he can focus on optional. Like that he can switch and make. Initially, people who are at the beginning stages of the preparation, they need to get their basics right or make their notes and all these things. They have to focus on building their material or their content, enriching their knowledge base and all. So for them, this is the strategy. Like 1 hour they should dedicate for current affairs. They can switch between GS and optional. For one day they can prepare GS, one day they can prepare optional. Like that they can switch. Weekends or holidays, they will get like 10 hours, usually 8 to 10 hours. So at that time, they can cover up whatever they are missing and all, and they can do other activities like answer writing, all these things. That is how they have to approach. Usually, I used to write tests during weekends. So.
And how did you manage time to make notes? Like, did you make it in the morning or lunch? You use lunch break for that? Because people are asking, working professionals are asking, when is the best time to make notes?
So for me, I never took preparation to office. So I was, I mean, many people had work from home during lockdown, but I was, unfortunately, I had to go to office at least for 3 to 4 days in a week. I have to go to office into 2020 itself. From June, I was going to office in Hyderabad. So the thing was, I used to wake up early. Between morning 5 to 10, I used to finish up most of these activities. Current affairs, I used to keep at night time. These static part or the optional part I used to take morning, because at the time mind will be very fresh and you can you can read better or you can prepare your notes better, all these things. Current affairs, so anyways it will be interesting, so even during night time also you can do that there, and it is usually I used to do like that.
Right. For prelims and mains gap, for a working professional, how much portion should they keep between prelims and mains? And how much portion should they prepare before prelims, and how much preparation should they prepare in between prelims and mains for working professionals?
So for working professional in particular, it's for others also. I mean, it's a generic strategy. Usually try to finish off your optional early before pre itself. At least the basic note making or the basic coverage of syllabus, try to do it before pre only. or else you won't get time between pre and main. So finish off your optional early before prelims itself. So like for example, this is June, and try to finish off your optional related classes or note making and all these things by December or January. And for prelims, if your attempt count is low, like if it's your first attempt or second attempt, try to give at least 3 months for prelims, exclusively for prelims, because prelims is becoming very uncertain these days, and it needs to be given the due respect. Like last 3 months, give it exclusively for prelims, and before that, finish off your optional and non. What I mean to say, basic books will be there for every topic. Like history, you have spectrum. Environment, you have some other book, quality, you have Lakshmikant, all these things. Try to give one reading by January or February. And after that, jump into the prelims mode. And if possible, these non-prelims related topics like ethics and all, that also try to finish off before February itself. Last 3 months, give exclusively for prelims related topics, and start giving mock tests. Try to practice the previous year MCQs. And many people have problems with CSAT also these days. I have seen engineers being disqualified in CSAT. Paper was becoming a bit uncertain. So also give that. My intention was don't take it lightly. I mean, give some practice for that also, so that you won't be troubled by CSAT. That is one more thing. Like that one has to. So once your preparation was done till prelims like that, and if you clear prelims, you'll be very confident that you have completed your optional. That will be a very huge confidence booster for you. At least if you have your notes of study, and if you have given one reading of optional before prelims, you'll be at an edge with respect to other competitors. Then you can focus on this answer writing test series, take a test series, start writing, revising content, answer writing, all these things. Between pre to mains, do as much as writing practice as possible. That is how one has to revise, write test, revise, write test. That one has to do.
Right, Mourya, since you have touched this prelims topic, and since you have clearly cracked the code of clearing prelims because you have written mains 5 times, I personally want to ask, how do you crack this prelims code? What do you think? People, I have seen a lot of people, including myself, we are stuck in prelims trap. Consecutive prelims failure, 3-4 prelims failure. We really don't know what is working and what is not working. As you have rightly mentioned, that CSAT is also has also increased to a level which we cannot ignore now. So what do you think specifically we should do to clear prelims?
Firstly, with respect to my case, I was a bit in an advantageous position for prelims because I was good at doing MCQs right from my +2 level. We were more practiced, oriented towards solving MCQs. I had that advantage, and that is why I was able to do prelims well in all my attempts. But keeping that aside, the main key to clear prelims is with respect to paper 1, that is GS1. The first paper, take limited sources, for each topic, one particular book. For history, it's a spectrum. For art and culture, there might be some other book. For the geography, a couple of lectures, online YouTube lectures I used to follow. So take one source, revise it multiple times, rather than following everything. Even current affairs also, follow one newspaper daily. Take one Institutka module, monthly current affairs module, and revise it multiple times. And that is one part. That is how your preparation will go. And with respect to practice, you have to practice solving MCQs a lot. What is happening is these days, a lot of institutions, they are unnecessarily tightening these prelims tests also. And people are getting demoralized very easily, especially during the last 2 months before the prelims, right? They write tests, but the papers were very tough, and they're not even crossing 80, 90 scores in the test. So they are going to the exam hall with a very demoralized attitude. And when the paper was not on expected lines, they're simply giving up in exam hall itself. And that is why many people are not able to crack this examination. So I would suggest people to, practice previous year questions. We already have a very huge data bank of questions, right, from 2010 or 2011 till 2022. So solve the previous year questions of prelims. Whenever you finish out the topic, see those questions, try to attend them, see how they are framing the questions, so that you get a knack of solving UPSC level questions. That is really important in this examination. Also, other Shutka test series questions also you have to practice. While practicing, see how many, what is your accuracy ratio? Like how many questions you are able to mark correctly. Based on that, decide how many questions you are going to attempt. All these things. So I always used to attempt 90 questions in preliminary. I know my success. I mean, my accuracy. If I attempt 90, I'll get 60 correct. That is how I used to do. So those things. It depends on individual. So those things, right? You can get to know only by practicing mock tests. So try to solve as many mocks as possible in the last minute. That's why I told give 3 months exclusively for prelims. And in that time, don't jump back to mains preparation and all. You'll be very much tempted that you are only studying prelims and it is not even going to add to final score and all. But don't do that. Focus exclusively on prelims and give it the due practice and all. And for the examination, go with a lot of confidence. Don't be demoralized and all. Even if you don't know the first few questions and all, start. I usually what I do is in some years, my first 20 questions, I hardly know 4 to 5 questions. Like that, the papers used to be. So then I used to start from back, question number 100, and some easy questions will be there. So so that you just keep moving forward in examination hall. Don't get stuck anywhere. And that is how you should mentally very strong in prelims, mentally very alert in this examination day. That is really important for clearing prelims.
Absolutely. So back to working professional domain. We have 2 more questions in that domain. I'll try to merge them. Somebody is asking that what happens after having a bad day. We can have a bad day at office and we really don't feel like studying. So how to maintain that consistency even after having a bad day at office? And somebody wants to know that because he or she is a working professional, he cannot join a coaching institute. So can he or she do it via self-study or simply rely on online mode? So I'll merge these 2 questions and I'll finish off this domain quickly because we have other areas to cover also.
Yeah. So with respect to bad day, that is what I told. I used to do my UPSC preparation during morning time, like between 5 to 10. So after that, I used to go to my job. So once the day is over, I used to have my dinner and sleep early as possible. So morning times when you wake up, right, your mind will be fresh and devoid of all these office-related stresses and all. You'll have a very fresh mind, and you can focus more on preparation. And if you are having bad day, couple of days, not all, every day is not Sunday, so you'll have some bad days. On such bad days, right, it's okay to take breaks. It is not like every day you have to give some time, but those breaks should not go on for like 3-4 days and all. Just one day you can take a break, have it for yourself, watch a movie or go out. Usually working professionals, they have an active social life. They can they can speak with friends or go out, dine at some nice place or do something with their life. Like that, they need to beat their mood swings. That is important. But one has to be consistent. They should not have these joy days or break days for too long, because again it is difficult to get back that momentum. Right. And the second question, online classes. Yes. Yeah. So the second question, yes, I agree that for a lot of aspirants, it is difficult to go to coaching because they are working. But one good thing happened is there are a lot of online resources also. Many are offering courses module wise, like economics module or polity module and all these things. So initially start doing self-study, like take Lakshmikant and start reading. If you are not able to grasp the concept, or if you're finding the subject very dry, try to subscribe to some online class. Don't think that online classes, they'll impart you with everything, but at least they'll give you a direction or orientation for that subject. So once you start attending those classes, you'll try to understand what the subject is all about. And with some self-study also, you'll be able to, balance your preparation. So online will help people who are, struggling with this problem.
Right. Somebody is in a similar situation like you were. He resigned and now he's joining back to his job. His problem is that it is difficult to retain and produce on paper. I mean, he remembers, but he cannot write answers well. So did you also face something of this kind? And is there any solution to it?
So the question was,
difficulty to retain and produce on paper.
produce on paper.
Like some
The
kind of
first thing-
mnemonics, people make mind maps
yes,
and
exactly.
something like that. Did you try doing that, or you were good at it?
Yeah, I did not try too many mnemonics, but the thing is, with respect to retaining and all, repeated revision and try to read limitedly. Don't try to make your notes very concise. Don't very crisp and concise, and revise it multiple times. Whatever they ask the question, try to apply whatever knowledge you have with respect to the demand of that question. That is important. Repeated revisions, through repeated revisions only one will be able to reproduce well in examination hall. Usually what happens is people study 1 or 2 times and they think that they have studied, but in exam pressure or in exam conditions they won't be able to recollect what they have studied, or they would be missing out on few points. So have that crisp notes, revise 4 5 times. 4 to 5 times revision is very important, especially with respect to optionals also. I made that mistake in my earlier attempts. I used to study only once or twice and think that I would do well, but this attempt I have revised it 3 to 4 times, and it really worked well. My optional, because of that reason only I got this time. So repeated revisions and a very crisp and concise notes, those are key in overcoming this problem.
Right. So I've taken most of the questions in working professional domain. Only last question I'll take in working professional domain. Then we'll shift to note making and other stuff.
Okay.
So working professional, last question is, somebody is in an IT sector job and he is not financially stable, so he cannot leave his job. Can he do it online free of cost? Is there any material available online where his finances are not disturbed much,
Okay.
if not free of cost?
So I don't know completely, but there are a couple of online courses which are free of cost. Like from Runal Geography, there are videos on YouTube, Runal Geography videos, which are very good. Like they are quite comprehensive, and with that you can clear geography for films as well as mains. That I can assure. And yeah, there are good number of online resources, and if one is not so financially well stable, maybe people can share pool and take subscriber codes so that multiple people can share these. Many people do these things, so some of the other approach I can take. I am not completely sure because most of my coaching is done offline, but so I don't know the trends what have come up recently with respect to online coaching. So I'm not in a complete knowledge is not there for me.
Right. So with this, we are done with working professional domain questions. Next very big segment is, and there will be only one question in this segment. This is
Okay.
timetable, right? Sir, please help us with timetable. Now, it is not possible for Mourya to prepare an individual timetable for everyone, but can you prepare a generic timetable for working professionals where they are able to take out 5-6 hours in a day? Is such timetable possible, Mourya?
So actually, I can't. I mean, everyone's job nature is different. Like as you said earlier, there was one person who is in health department, so his timings were different. So mine is IT.
But let us assume is he's in a 9 to 5 job, or prepare a timetable for somebody who's in a 9 to 5 job. That's it. Generic timetable. Yeah, something which you did and worked for you. Just spell that out.
Yeah, so that's what, like I said earlier also, most of my static preparation, for whether it's optional, I used to study optional one day and GS the other day. Alternate days I used to study. Morning times I used to do. Morning 2 to 3 hours I used to give for a particular subject. Whether if it's an anthropology, I used to study entire anthropology for 2 to 3 hours on that day. In current affairs, I used to push to the evening because at that time I can manage current affairs, but optional is more difficult, intellectually complex and all. So those things I used to do morning times when the mind is fresh and all. So like that I used to do. And also the schedule also I told earlier, like finish off your optional before prelims and GS, non-prelims related GS aspects, like you have ethics, you have security, you have disaster management, all these topics, small topics will be there. Try to finish up them upfront. Then when prelims, once you approach prelims, start focusing on subjects like history, geography, and all these things right from December or January. And last 3 months, focus exclusively on prelims. You prepare initial suppose if you have 3 months for prelims, first 45 or 50 days, do sectional mocks, like prepare history, solve the history related MCQs, solve history related sectional tests, then take geography, solve geography related previous year questions, like that. and last 40 days, revise whatever you have learned in the first 50 days. Like that, give 2 to 3 revisions for preliminary related topics. And that is after once you clear prelims between pre to May, just revise and give tests like that. So that is how one has to approach. So day wise, weekends, right? 8 to 10 hours, whatever you have, whatever you see the schedule which you have made for a particular week. If you are lagging in some area, try to cover on that weekend or that holiday. Try to finish off those things so that end of week or end of 10 days, you are on track with your schedule. See, that is how in work also projects will execute. Like they periodically review where they have, reached with respect to the project completion. And if someone is lagging, people put those extras. They do late nights, they work on weekends and all these things. Implement that kind of professionalism in your UPSC preparation also.
Right. So Mourya sir is saying that utilize your weekends well and push yourself in weekends 8 to 10, 12, whatever capacity you can. And in normal days, Mourya sir did not used to take studies to his office, right? You did not take studies to your office.
No.
Yeah. So he managed 5 hours apart from his office timings. So in the morning or in the evening, you decide that accordingly. So my personal question is, when did you sleep? How did you manage your sleep timings? Because you
So that's not like morning. I used to sleep by 10:30 most likely. I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so you had 6-7 hours of sleep, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
sleep
right.
is
yeah, that's what. Since the schedule is so hectic, we thought that you.
So that's what. So the thing was, the key is one more thing I want to emphasize, that when you are preparing like this, you have to plan what you're going to do next day, one day before. You should not, wake up and start planning what to do, because that itself will consume a lot of time. So just before sleeping the previous day, review what you have done on that particular day and plan for the next day upfront, so that as soon as you wake up, just start doing what you have planned. So that is the key when you are working. You have to be very clear on what you're going to do on a particular day. You shouldn't wake up and decide what to do.
Right. I think he has given a very generic idea how to make timetables, and people should adopt it accordingly. And people who are in jobs like health department and other jobs where they are required to be 24/7 or similar timings, then you should take 15 days break before prelims and 25 days break before mains. You should take leave before prelims and mains according to your requirements. So I think we are over this section. We'll move to note making and answer writing next. So yeah. So when is the best time to write answers? Should we write it before prelims, or should we start writing answers after prelims? You answer this.
So if someone is like has just freshly started, I won't advise them to right away jump to answer writing. Get some idea for like this, like 2 to 3 months, build up some basics, and then start writing. So usually I would, people with higher attempt count, like second attempts and all that, they already have some idea on what is the syllabus and all. For them, I would advise to finish off your sectional test before prelims. Usually every test series will have sectional tests, like history test, geography test, like that, economics test and all. Finish off your sectional test before prelims. And between prelims to mains, try to focus writing full length test. So that is how one has to approach. Even with respect to optional, it is the same thing. So if you are just starting, right, first finish off your classes and focus more on notes making. Like usually coaching, they won't tell completely, but they just give an idea. So parallelly, you also have to read toppers blogs and all to see what were the sources they have followed. How did they make their notes? Many are uploading their notes also. Just try to see how they're making notes and all these things, and try to make a note, or if you are smart enough, just try to use their notes itself and add some value like that. Like that, have some material handy before prelims itself with respect to optional. Between prelims and mains, and between prelims and mains, maybe if you are first timer, then start writing some sectional tests initially in the first 1 month, and in the last 2 months or last 1 month, give the full length test. That is how you have to plan. If you are a like experienced candidate, finish off the sectional part before prelims itself, and focus more on full length test between prelims and mains.
Right. So note making should be done only for static part or current part. If it should be done for both, how do we integrate it?
So, if someone is working professional, right, I would not advise to make notes for each and everything. Like for example, if you take Lakshmikant, right, that itself is a note of some other book. So don't make notes for Lakshmikant and all. Don't make notes for Spectrum and all. It is a bad idea. Be smart and make notes for optional. Make notes for things where you have multiple sources and you have to consolidate it at one place. So for those things, you make notes. For polity, it's a single source, Lakshmikant. So try to underline, highlight, do all those things, and make sure that when you are revising, you revise only the portions which you have highlighted. Like that, you progressively reduce the amount of content you are going to study. Like first round, you study the entire Lakshmikant, highlight the key points. Second time, you study only the key points and highlight even more important points. A lot of people use these markers and all, like highlighters and all, color highlighters to do all those things. Don't make notes for things which are redundant. Even Spectrum is the same thing, like that. That is one thing. And what was the second question?
Okay, so next question is, how do we analyze the demand of the question and the demand of the exam? She has written demand of the exam. I'll reframe it as demand of the question. How do we analyze what is question asking, and how do we analyze past year question papers while writing answers? So I have more these two questions: demand of the question and how to utilize previous year questions.
So demand of the question is I usually have this directive words like critically analyze, discuss. So there, if you Google, right, there are a lot of many institutions have clearly explained what each word means. Like discuss means you provide a comprehensive approach. Critically analyze means you discuss pros and cons, like that. So just go through them, then you will understand what to write. A lot of people neglect these directives, question directives. So that is one thing which is important. And secondly, whenever you see a question, try to link it to some topic which is in syllabus. Usually UPSC will not go beyond the syllabus. Whatever question they have asked, it is somewhere related to the syllabus. So one should be very thorough with the syllabus with respect to general studies as well as optional. And whenever there is a question, try to link it to the topic which is given in the syllabus, so that which area you have to address and which direction you have to address it more. So that way you can understand the demand of questions. And similarly, analyzing previous year questions also, you have to take the same approach. Many are giving this compilations like previous year past, 10 years past, 7 years previous year questions, topic wise, like art and culture previous year questions, modern India previous year questions, geography previous year questions. Take them. So when you finish up that module, right, see those questions. Then you'll get a better clarity, like how they are asking. There are many topics in mains like security, international relations, environment. They are low-hanging fruits basically. Many people don't attempt those questions well. If you see the previous year questions from those topics, right, most of the themes are recurrent. Like cybersecurity, every year they'll ask one question on cybersecurity. So if you have some content, some short notes on cybersecurity, right, some 150 words to 200 words of short notes, whatever question they ask, you can apply it. You can apply the content which you have with you according to the demand of that question. So be smart with respect to your preparation like this. So that is.
Should we make notes of the Hindu or the Express? Somebody asked, he's a working professional, should he do that? I don't personally advise working professionals to make notes of newspapers. What is your opinion on that? And should people who are preparing full-time also, should they also make notes for from the Hindu or the Indian Express?
With respect to newspaper preparation, I would advise people not to skip newspaper. So prepare newspaper, editorials and all. That's what, like editorials sometimes for working professional, right? It is very difficult to first thing study all the editorials and understand which is relevant and make notes out of it. So many sites, websites are doing job for them.
Yeah.
Many daily current affairs modules, they're doing that job for them. So just rely on them with respect to editorials. But if while doing a general reading of newspaper, you yourself might be finding something interesting or something relevant to that examination. So if you find something like that, just note it down somewhere. Make notes of that. So that will give a authenticity for your profession. Like you will be unique because those things might not be covered in these compilations or in these summaries and all these things. So those examples or those linkages which you found or which you made while preparing, right? It will be your unique or your unique material. So you will be having that, originality in your answers. If you use those whatever notes or facts or examples you have collected, right, in examination, it will make your answers unique. So that is how one has to make notes from Hindu or Indian.
Right. How to put minimum efforts and extract maximum out of it.
If I had known, I wouldn't be taking 5 attempts. So, yeah, it's a very, very broad question.
Yeah, so I combined it into answer writing because I didn't find a domain of where do I put this question. So yeah, how do we do that? If you have anything to add on this.
So minimum and maximum, one is my opinion, my personal opinion is like don't mix 2, 3 things. So our mind is capable of analyzing only one thing at a time. So when you're doing one thing, right, don't think about other things or give sufficient time. Like suppose if you're studying the optional, right, at least give 2 hours or 3 hours at a stretch. So when you're working for at a stretch for 2, 3 hours, right, you will develop that focus or momentum. A lot of people, what they do is they study optional for 1 hour, then GS for 1 hour, then current affairs for 1 hour, like that. So when they switch between topics, right, our mind won't be able to comprehend. So efficiency will be less. That is what I believe. But yeah, I mean, I was also waiting for answers to this question: how to extract maximum out of minimum effort.
Right, sir. I'll club 3 major topics: consistency, motivation, and how to avoid distraction. How to remain consistent, how to keep yourself motivated, and how to avoid distraction. You can answer as you want. A lot of questions are there. Motivation, and how to avoid distractions. Distractions like social media and etc.
So with respect to that, have a group, a peer group who are equally motivated for this exam. I know it is very hard to get for working professionals because a lot of people, a lot of times they are surrounded by people who are not remotely interested in UPSC and their topic of conversation will be very different. Oftentimes you'll feel left out. I mean, I faced this problem when I joined back. So their topics of discussion will be like which place is good to eat or which movie is good, or many people will be discussing about which car to buy or which house to buy and all these things. And here I am studying history, geography, main prelims. I was in this mode and it was that mode. So in those times, I used to, discuss more with my friends who are in UPSC, like those 3 to 4 people. So we used to discuss where we are with respect to our preparation. We used to share material if we find some good material on internet. There are a lot of Telegram groups also which were run by some serious aspirants. And there are online forums also where people used to discuss. So these things I used to follow so that I was in touch with the preparation world. That is how I used to maintain my motivation level. And consistency, as I said earlier, you have to make a schedule and make your schedule such a way that initially they are achievable. The targets are achievable so that you'll get a confidence and you feel happy that you are going somewhere, you're progressing somewhere, and gradually you make your schedule more demanding and you progressively increase. That is how you maintain consistency with respect to your preparation. Try to meet your goal with respect to preparation so that you'll be more confident and you'll be more motivated. And talk to mentors. If you have taken some mentorship and all, talk to those mentors, they will motivate you. That is one very important thing. So whenever I used to feel lost, I think during the 2020 COVID time, the exam, there was a phase where we don't know when the exam is going to happen. And I just joined a job and I was feeling that I was losing motivation and all. So I used to call occasionally Sajal sir and ask him like, what to do now? We don't know when the examination will happen. How to prepare, what to prepare, whether to prepare for prelims or whether to prepare for mains, what is happening and all. So yeah, everyone is not sure. At least they'll be there to listen to your concern and they'll try to advise whatever they can from their own experiences. You have some sort of rapport with your mentors or somebody who is already in preparation. Like that, you will be, motivated. Surround yourself with positive people who are also in this examination field, who have given this examination. Like that, you will be consistent and motivated. Distractions, with respect to distractions, yeah, that is up to an individual. So it will be very tempting. Like in job, right? You will be often labeled as a boring person and all. When you start avoiding these team outings or office parties or social gatherings and all, but such sacrifices are required for this examination. That's why whatever social life you have, keep the social life with aspirants only, so that
Yes, keep your social life with the aspirants only.
so
Best answer to this question.
with the aspirants only.
Right.
Yeah.
So another
that's
segment we'll move into revision. Okay. So
okay.
strategy for revision. That's the question. How do we revise? What is an ideal strategy for revising things? How many books to revise? Should we revise our notes or should we revise books? Again, reading minimum, revising maximum. How to do that? I have merged all of these. Revision is the domain, and these are the questions.
So with respect to revision, I told for preliminary, at least do 3 rounds of revision. Reduce your revision. Like first revision will be like suppose 50 days. 10 days you give for each section, like environment 10 days, history 10 days, geography 10 days, like this. After 50 days, next revision should be for 30 days or 25 days. You revise the same thing, but initial revision, what you have highlighted or underlined or made notes of, right? Study only those things. And if you are doing some mock tests, right, you might be having some notes of those mock tests also. Like you might have made some mistakes in some questions, you might have noted it down somewhere. So revise those things also in the next second round of revision. And last revision will be like last 10 days or 15 days. So like that, some progressively revise. Reduce the amount of content which you are supposed to revise. And in the last round, you will be revising only those static things, or those things which are very difficult to memorize. Those keep towards the end, so that just before going to the examination, you just revise those things also, and they'll be fresh in your mind, and you will be able to do better. Even for mains, it is the same thing. For mains, right, a lot of people, what they do is they prepare this theme-wise current affairs, stats. If it's an optional, right, they make this crisp notes of thinkers, all these things. Make a very crisp notes of that, so that you will be able to revise that notes in 1 to 2 days for each subject. So rest of the topic will be in your mind, but these short notes is what you have made. They will be handy just before going to the examination. If you have revised a couple of stats, right, and write the test, you'll be able to write those statistics in your answer, and you'll be able to enrich your answer better. So that is one key funda. Lot of toppers, successful candidates have done it, and I have also learned from them. So that is one thing which you can do. Also for mains, the same thing. Multiple revisions, like make 2 to 3 revisions. Plan your test series accordingly. Like usually many test series, they come with 12 tests or 3 rounds of full length tests, or like that. Suppose if you are fresher, finish off your sectional test in the first 2 months, and last 2 months give full length test. Revise that entire paper, give that test. Revise the paper, give that test. Like that. Through test based, you have to plan your revision. That is
right. So we should move to the next segment, that is miscellaneous. You have fans in Andhra Pradesh, sir. People want to meet you personally. Can they? Or do you have a Telegram channel where they can connect with you?
Yes, I am running a Telegram channel. If you can type Mourya_Bharadwaj on Telegram, you'll find it. It will have my mark list on it. There's a fake Telegram channel also which is circulating. So the one which has my mark sheet as the profile picture, that was the original one I'm running. I'm consistently uploading. I uploaded my revision strategy. I uploaded my script, test series answer script. Civilsdaily, whatever evaluated smash test also I have uploaded there. And in future I'll be uploading my anthropology notes also. I mean, I'm consolidating it. It was very scattered and all. I'll hopefully upload it by next 1 week also.
Right. So this is miscellaneous section. We are taking every question which we've skipped, or something which is not related directly or indirectly related to our broader themes. So what somebody is asking that since environment is now 20% of prelims paper and mostly questions don't come from Shankar IAS or current affairs, how do we prepare that?
Oh, is it? Questions are not coming. But still, my preparation was almost the same. I used to revise that Shankar IAS book only, and I used to rely on current affairs. Whatever modules will be there, right? Like the 365 modules will be there, yearly environment, all these things. I used to prepare those things only. And what I mean to say, previous year questions from environment section. So, so the thing was this: see, there might be some years where environment will be tough, but in those years, quality will be easy or economics will be easy. So when you are preparing for prelims, right, prepare holistically, like cover all the areas equally. Uh, Prepare history, prepare geography, every topic properly. Don't leave any section. Like some might be leaving medieval India, or some might be leaving some other topic. So if you do that right, maybe easy questions might come from that area, and you might not be able to take advantage of it. So when you prepare holistically, right, even some sections are tough, some easy questions will be there in other sections, and they will sail you through. There are some years where this environment was really tough, but quality was pretty flat, or economics was pretty easy. So I used to take advantage of that, like that. End of the day, you don't need to get 200 all 100 questions correct. So you need to just cross 100 marks in this examination to clear for mains. So prepare smart. Don't get obsessed over those questions which were coming out of nowhere. There might be some questions every year in prelims paper which will be like, where did he ask this question, or from where did he get this question? So such kind of questions, if you start obsessing over such questions, right, you will try to read everything under the sun and waste time. So some standard questions or static questions, easy questions also will be there. So just try to make your preparation comprehensive so that you'll be able to answer these easy questions or medium questions.
Right. Last two questions, then we'll end this. Last two questions are one, how do we handle demotivation failures? And some advice for beginners. Somebody who is just starting, what should he be doing? Like imagine yourself at 2016. What should you have done better? Oh, please advise them.
So with respect to I'll answer the second question first. With respect to beginners, do some background research about this examination. Like these days, there are many toppers who are giving videos or writing blogs. Not only this year, there are toppers right from 2016-17 who have done this written blogs and all these things. Do that background research. Read their blogs. Read about subjects also, like which option you have to choose. I chose my option after starting coaching. After coming to Delhi. So do some initial research about this examination. Talk to seniors who are already in this process, who have given a couple of attempts, so that you'll get a perspective about this. Develop a perspective about this examination before jumping into this coaching or into this preparation. Then you will avoid doing mistakes, and you will do less number of mistakes, and you will try to clear in earlier attempts. So that is one advice I would like to give to the newbies or someone who is freshly entering into this preparation. Don't just directly jump. Spend some 30 to 45 days on this background research. That is very important. And secondly, with respect to demotivation. Yes. So yes, this examination, there will be times. Most of the times you'll be demotivated only, because the scope for failure is very high. There are very less number of seats. At some or the other level, you'll be facing rejections or failures. But thing is, you need to have a set of positive people around you. That is the most important thing. You should not be isolated or aloof. When you are aloof, right, this demotivation even increases. Your mind will start playing games with you, and you will be screwed very much. I experienced this phase a lot in my I went till interview and I could not make it, and then next year I couldn't clear mains, so I had to face these demons a lot. So it is better you talk with people around you, and try to keep yourself in company of good people, positive people who believe you. There might be at least only 2 to 3 people also, it is fine. You don't need to be surrounded by multiple people, but 2 to 3 close people also, it is fine. And you can take breaks, like whenever there will be some moments where you might not clear prelims. So right from the next day, you don't need to start preparing for next year's exam. Maybe take 7 to 10 days a break, go to some trip, just reflect yourself, like what you are going to do, and all. Take some time out for reflection and all. That will really help, and you will come back with a renewed, energy. I think after my third main failure, I went to Rishikesh and I was reflecting, what to do, and so yeah, that is one thing. And also, hobbies play a very important role. Your hobbies, whatever you do, there should be something which you enjoy doing. Do such things. so that you come out of this depressing or demotivating phase.
I think we should take this question also. It's how was sir's experience choosing anthropology as an optional being an engineer? So being an engineer, how was your experience choosing anthro?
So it is a good subject, anthropology, and there is mostly static part, at least first paper. It is technical, first paper. There is physical anthropology, which is mostly related to biology part. So such technical portions, right? You write whatever that is asked, there are chances that you'll score good marks. But I faced trouble in paper 2, which was more like a humanities paper. So initial years, I used to write it like a technical subject only, like engineering only. So for engineering, if you ask some principle or some equation or something, just straight away write the principle or equation and just move on to the next question. But in humanities, it will be different. So you have to say that so and so thinker said this, so and so thinker said that, and you have to write all those thinkers and then write your own views and then link it with current affairs. So that flair of writing you have to develop for humanities subject. So the best thing for that is after your preparation, when you start answer writing, right, just try to see the copies of previous year topics. So then you'll start with an idea like what to write and what is working with respect to these optional subjects like humanities. So then you will be able to do well with such subjects. It's a good subject, anthropology. It's rewarding people well also from the last couple of years. So it is just because I did not have that aptitude for the paper 2. I was struggling with that paper, and it took me these many years to clear this examination. But if you have that flair of writing and which you can develop by also seeing proper copies and all, you will be able to do well in earlier attempts also.
Yeah, so I've covered most of the questions as much as I could. I'm sorry if I could not take all of your questions, but I have covered major themes. Thank you so much, Mourya sir, for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you. We at Civilsdaily are extremely proud of you. You are our smash prelim student, smash main student, and we trust me, we cannot have a better candidate than you to represent us. And yeah, I'm very sure you will be a very good officer in future. An officer which country needs right now. You will be honest, you will be having integrity, and I wish you all the best, sir, for whatever service, whatever state and whatever designation you get. Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, I wish all the people who have joined this webinar all the best. I mean, since I think I assume most of them are working professionals, it's okay. Don't need to get insecure that many people are doing it full time and what are my chances and where do I stand. Many people have also cracked this examination working full time. So once you have made that decision to prepare for this examination working parallelly while working, stick to that decision and don't feel insecure at any point of time. There are ample number of resources available to guide you. Just be smart in choosing your resources and be focused and committed. Definitely you will do well in this examination. Just my sincere suggestion is last few days, try to be focused completely towards examination. Take leaves and all. For example, if there's mains and all, just last 10-15 days, just take a leave so that you will be totally focused on this examination. I made this mistake, my 4th attempt. Tomorrow there's an essay paper. I was attending a meeting, Zoom conference call tonight at 8 p.m. So there was a bug and we had to resolve it. So I was in that meeting and I was under so much stress that tomorrow morning I have an essay paper and I was on call now. So such kind of things don't do. Have those boundaries set. And yeah, you will definitely do well. Have that positivity and be committed and focused. Definitely you'll do well. All the best.
Right. So this conversation will be available on our YouTube channel. We have covered every aspect. People who have joined us now, they are asking questions, which we have already covered. So thank you once again. Thank you to all our participants and thank you to Mourya sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
Everybody reads. Everybody does the hard work. But hard work is not enough to crack the exam. Along with hard work, you need smart work. And for that smart work, you need a mentor who can ensure that you are studying in the right direction. Now, not every aspirant has IAS uncle or IAS bhaiya. So those aspirants who don't have IAS uncle and IAS bhaiya, we will be providing you a IAS mentor. So our Super Mentorship Program, which has just 50 seats, it has 3 layers of mentorship. The first layer will be the in-house mentors of Civilsdaily, who will be in touch with you throughout your journey. Second layer, I will be there, who will be interacting with you every week through Samachar Manthan. And at third layer, they will be our IAS mentor. Register in the form given below in the description box and in the comment box, because only when you fill the form, you will be considered as eligible for the program.